And once we know all those basic subtraction facts, we can do pretty much any subtraction, no matter how big the number is. And again, this has everything to do with place values, just like it did with addition. Of course, it's the opposite of addition. It's the inverse of addition. We're not adding or combining values. We're looking to take away values from each other. So yeah, once we know our basic subtraction facts, we can subtract any size number, stacking the numbers, aligning the place values in columns. For example, like this, we'll see problems like this one. This would be 2,647 minus 531. It should be written stacked, again, by place values, right? So I got a 7 and a 1 in those place values. And so we stack them this way. Now the first number should be on top. Okay, so the 2,647, it's on top and I stack it. The second number should be on the bottom. It's crucial. The order is crucial when we look at subtraction. I know when we did the addition section, it was not as crucial, but with subtraction, it is crucial, okay? So the first number needs to be the top number, and the second number needs to be the bottom number when we stack them for the subtraction. Bottom, there we go. All right, and we see that we have those over here. There's the top number, there's the bottom number. All right, so we start with the place value farthest to the right and then move left, okay, by columns or the place values. So the first calculation I would do is just that 7 minus 1. So that means also, just like we did with addition, is I'm pretty much ignoring everything else. So I'm kind of focused in on this individual place value. And I say, okay, I know 7 minus 1. 7, I'd have 7 fingers up, take away 1 finger, boom, you get 6 fingers, right? And then we can move these boxes as we go to each place value. 4 minus 3, 4 fingers, take down 3 fingers, boom, you got 1 finger up. So that's 1. Let's go to the next place value. The hundreds place value, that's 6 minus 5, so 6 fingers, pull down 5 fingers, boom, you got 1 finger up again. And then finally, yeah, we're in the thousands place value, but there was only the 2 in the thousands place value, so it just kind of drops as a 2. There's nothing to subtract from it. It just stays 2. Now, sometimes, again, like we'll show that 2 dropping like this with an arrow. Whether you use the arrow doesn't matter. It's still the same value right there. It's 2. Okay, so the difference between 2,647 and 531 is 2,116. And yeah, maybe, you know, if we move these boxes again, we can see that a little bit more clearly like this, okay? Now, again, some of you are ahead of us and may be thinking, well, what if you have to borrow some values? We'll get to that, okay? We'll get to borrowing. But for now, if we can just focus on being able to take one value away from another, knowing that there's enough, then that's a really, really good start for us, okay? So let's do this subtraction. And again, we got the subtraction table in front of us, which is very convenient. But let's set these up one by one. We're going to stack them, right? Now, if you can do this without the stacking, that's okay. Just be very careful if you do, because we're not using calculators to make these calculations, which would be extraordinarily convenient. But since we're not using calculators, if you're doing it in your head, I don't know about you guys, and again, this is a warning just based on my experience. If you do stuff in your head, we're just more likely to make mistakes. All the mistakes that I make, generally speaking, are in my head, okay? So, but if I show my work like I'm going to do here, I'm less likely to make those small mistakes, which I'm prone to make if I do it in my head. So right here, I got 85 minus 42, right? And again, order matters with subtraction. So I'd say, all right, I got 85. So I'm going to set this up. I got an 8 in the tens position, a 5 in the ones position, right? And we're going to subtract 42. So I got minus, it's a 4 in the tens position, and a 2 in the ones position right here, okay? Now again, we're going to do this one place value at a time, starting with the place value on the right. Now you may ask, well, could we start with the place value farthest to the left? You could, it's just there's a lot of other conditions that happen if you do start on the left. So generally speaking, we always start on the right and then make those calculations from place value to place value, moving to the left. So right here, and again, I kind of hope the boxes help, right? Just kind of focus on one part at a time, which is nice about the place values because it changes that big problem into a smaller, more manageable manageable problem. Like 5 minus 2, right? Okay, 5 fingers up, 2 fingers down, boom, you got 3 fingers up, right? So 5 minus 2 is 3. That's the ones place value. So then I would move on to the tens place value, and I'd say 8 minus 4. So boom, 8 fingers up, take down 4 fingers, and I got 4 fingers up. So 8 minus 4 is 4. Now, I know those are in the tens place value, but when I'm subtracting these digit by digit or place value by place value, I'm not worried about what place value it's in as long as they're aligned by place value like we did before. So at this point, I'd say, oh, we don't need that box. And I see that the difference between 85 and 42 is 43. So we'll do the same thing with 67 and 11. So again, we'll look at 67 here. So that's a 6 in the tens place value. I'm going to give myself a little bit more space than I just showed right there. 7 in the ones place value, like this. So I'm purposely separating these just a little bit so that I can see they're in different place values, right? 6 in the tens, 7 in the ones place value. Now I'm going to subtract 11. So I show the subtraction, which is the operation we're performing. Now 11 has a 1 in the tens place value and a 1 in the ones place value. So now I can make this calculation. Let's see if I can move that box. Oh, I can. That's good. So again, I focus on one place value at a time, starting with the place value farthest to the right, which should just be the ones place value for us. And I say I got 7 minus 1 here. 7, take away 1 finger. Again, if you have this memorized from right here, right? 7 minus 1, there it is, 6. More power to you, okay? And again, the sooner you can memorize those subtraction facts, the faster these calculations will be. So I have a 6 in the ones place value as the difference between 7 and 1. But then I have the difference between 6 and 1 in the tens place value. So again, 6 minus 1, you can do fingers. You can look here, 6 minus 1 there is 5 if you got it memorized. So 6 minus 1 is 5. There it is. So I remove the box and I see my full difference between 67 and 11 is 56. Yeah, we got 43 and 56 there on those two problems. But you see how we're really focusing on one digit at a time. Well, one place value at a time with those single digits. And again, you may be asking, well, is it possible for these to be 2 digits? Yes, it is, if we need to do what we call borrowing, which is coming here in a moment.